we doing on this earth, man? Every day, most of us wake up and go to a job that we really don't like, but we can't really quit because we got to get the money to pay the bills that they say it's important to pay. What the fuck is the point of this life, man? We go to grocery stores and buy food that God gave us for free. This whole system is garbage. America ain't nothing but a big ass plantation, man. A big ass fucking plantation. What the we doing here? There are days I don't want to be on this earth. And I'm not saying I want to unalive myself and nothing like that. But I'm tired, man. It's like, what the is the point of any of this? To work till we 60, 70 years old? Most of us ain't gonna be able to see 50. But we gotta work to maybe retire. Man, you and all that bullshit.
If you're miserable at your corporate job and you want to quit, I did it. I did it 2 months ago. I worked corporate 8 to 5, Monday to Friday in an office for 5 years, and I had enough. I drew the line and I quit. I had just about enough of going into an office and looking at a computer screen and doing worthless work and not being appreciated for it and being underpaid and reporting to somebody who didn't give a shit about me and being treated like a child, being denied a PTO request when it's my life. All of it just built up, and I just about had enough. I had enough I was at my breaking point when I wanted out more than I wanted to breathe. The only thing I ever talked about was, I want to quit my job. The 9 to 5 sucks. I cannot do this. And I was serious about it. I told everybody, and everybody's response was the same. It was, what are you going to do about it? There's nothing you can do. That's just life. It is what it is. Welcome to reality. That was what everyone told me. And to me, I looked at everyone like they were crazy. I'm like, you've accepted that this is reality? And I just never could. And I think that me not accepting it is the reason that I'm out and that I'm doing better financially probably than ever. Now that I've been out of my job for 2 months, obviously there's a lot of uncertainty when I quit my job. I was nervous, like anyone would. You're never going to feel ready. I didn't really feel ready, but I knew I had to do it. I had to take the leap. If I'm not going to do it now, when am I going to do it, right? I'm 26 years old. It's like, what am I going to do? Wait till I'm 40 to do it? No. I want to take control now. I want to live my life. I have one life, right? That was kind of the thought I had. I was like, you know what? We only get one shot at this life. And once it's over, it's over. And it's like, am I going to sit here another day and waste my life sitting behind a computer screen doing somebody else's work for them? When I'm super ambitious and I think I have more to give and I have more value to provide, and it never was for me, right? And I guess if you're sitting here watching this thinking, I'd love to quit my job and maybe do what you're doing and work online, I'm here to tell you can, but be smart about it, right? Like, I didn't just cold turkey quit. I had so much pain from my corporate job, but I took that pain and put it into something else. I put it into working to get out, right? I put everything else aside. I put all of my things I loved doing aside and just started stacking skills and learning about entrepreneurship and getting better. And then obviously, familiar with my story, making money on TikTok Shop, finally had a breakthrough, and now I'm doing social media full time, right? But it's like, it didn't happen overnight. And for you, if you're at square zero, you can't compare yourself to somebody who is making $100,000 a month and you're sitting there thinking, I'd love to be that guy, right? Like, you can't think that. You have to think, what actions can I take right now to get to that point? You have to work backwards. Okay, it's not going to happen overnight, but be smart, plan. If you're in a position to where you're absolutely miserable at your job and you're just depressed, get out of that job and just get a new one, and then get some of your time back, and then work towards that goal to eventually get out of that job. Okay, that's what I did, at least. But what I don't want you to do is just give up and say, yeah, that's reality. Nah, that's just for... So many people do that. And if you do that, then you've already accepted your future. You've accepted that as your reality, and you will not have the future that you feel like you deserve to have. So hopefully somebody needed to hear this today.
People think, oh, these kids are so burned out, they're just lazy. It's like, no, they're working 40 hours a week, but at the end of the month, they have nothing to show for it. So if you're not making any progress and you look back 5 years and go, damn, I made $300,000 in the last 5 years, or I made $400,000 in the last 5 years, and I have nothing. If anything, I have $25,000 in debt. That's going to create burnout because you feel like you just put in 5 years of work and have nothing to show for it. And we still have people blaming them that, well, the reason you're broke is because of the coffee. It's like, no, it's the 25% inflation that we've faced that just destroyed people's spending power. It's the 30% increase in rent prices where people are spending 40% of their money on rent. You're still being taxed 20, 25, 30%. People just don't have any money. People aren't having kids. They're not being able to start families. People are struggling financially, fighting financially. Relationships are suffering. This is all decline in living standards. You realize millennials with degrees are living with roommates into their 30s, not having kids? How do you have a Thanksgiving in a 900 square foot apartment? How do you have a dog and go play in the backyard and make memories with your kids? I was living in an apartment complex just 2.5 years ago. Tons of kids. They may do, but they're all playing on the cement floors in the hallway because they don't have a yard. Because houses are $400,000. Humans are good at adapting, but there's a fine line between adapting and being taken advantage of, and I think we're being taken advantage of.
Nobody will ever convince me that working is normal. Waking up tired, dragging yourself out of bed, giving all your energy to a job that will replace you in 2 seconds, coming home drained, too tired to enjoy your kids, your peace, your life, or even yourself, and somehow this is what we call normal? No. This is survival, y'all. This is burnt out, dressed up as responsibility. This is people breaking their necks, breaking their backs to barely make it, and we're supposed to smile and act like we're grateful for it? And you mean to tell me we only get one life, and most of it is supposed to be spent stressed, underpaid, overlooked, and exhausted? That would never sit right with me. And I'm not saying people shouldn't work. I'm saying this system is not normal. It's not normal to have anxiety every Sunday about Monday. It's not normal to cry in the parking lot before a shift. And it's not normal to work full-time and still be behind on bills. And it's not normal to feel like your whole life belongs to a company. And they told us this was just part of being an adult. But honestly, a lot of us are waking up and realizing this ain't living. This is existing. I want more than survival. I want peace, y'all. I want freedom. I want to actually enjoy my life without feeling guilty for needing rest. So no, nobody will ever convince me that this is normal. Because, no.
Living in America right now feels like a punishment. You wake up already behind, you go to work just to stay broke, and you watch the cost of everything rise while your paycheck doesn't move an inch. Groceries are a luxury. Rent is robbery. Healthcare is a joke. And somehow we're the ones blamed for not budgeting better. People are working 2-3 jobs and still choosing between food or gas. Families are crammed into apartments because buying a house became a fantasy. You can't afford to get sick. You can't afford to rest. You can't afford to exist. But they keep telling us the economy's strong. Strong for who? Because it sure as hell isn't the people doing the work. We're out here treading water while billionaires build rockets, politicians trade stocks, and corporations raise prices just because they can. We were promised opportunity. We got survival. And what makes this worse is watching people blame themselves. Like somehow you failed because you can't afford a 1-bedroom anymore. Like you didn't do enough when the truth is the math just stopped adding up years ago. They told us to work harder, but never told us they'd change the finish line. This isn't a country full of lazy people. It's a country full of exhausted ones. Simple as that.
Let me say this before you give your job another stressful week. Your job will replace you in a heartbeat, but the burnout, the anxiety, and the stress, that'll stay with you. A lot of people are walking into work every week already drained, overworked, and overwhelmed. You're mentally checked out, but guess what? You're still showing up. And the mistake people make is thinking, if I just push through one more time, if I just get through this week, it'll get better. But guess what, people? It doesn't. Because you're not fixing the problem. You're just adjusting to it. Answering emails late at night. Taking on more than you should. And we know we've all been there. Saying yes when you're already stretched to the max. And then to top it off, your leader is not worth a darn. And slowly your mental health starts taking a hit. Your patience gets shorter. Your energy drops. You're no good for yourself, and let's not mention anybody else. And you're not even feeling like yourself anymore. But here's my HR tip. If you want to protect your mental health, you have to start setting boundaries early. Log off on time. Don't normalize constant stress. And stop treating urgencies like everything is an emergency. Say yes to yourself sometimes. It's okay to do that. And if all else fails, perhaps you should start looking. Because if you don't protect your mental health, Your job will take what you're willing to give every single time. Now share and comment and tap that screen to show me some love. Follow me for more HR tips. The more you know.